encapsulation, I can achieve encapsulation by first declaring variables as private and then providing getters and setters to read and update these variables. That is the way in which I achieve encapsulation. Why is encapsulation important? Why do I require encapsulation? Why is encapsulation important to me? Encapsulation is important because it prevents unauthorized access to sensitive data. That's making my application very secure. Code modifications can be done without affecting other parts of the program. You can define valid logic inside getters and setters. And encapsulated code is more flexible and scalable. In coding, there is a thing where you want to use the smallest amount of code that's possible, but you want to reuse code. If there is always an opportunity to reuse code, you want to reuse code. If we want to practicalize what we are saying, we are looking at students. In here, all of you are muted. I am unmuted. As to if some of you here are at home, behind your PC, you are set up, you are ready for the class, you are not ready for the class. If some of you are in church, if you're in some program, some of you are in town, probably you're even talking to each other in town. If I was to ask all of you here to on your video, you will see that some of you are not even in your room, you are in someone else's room. Whatever you are doing, you know. Until we unmute your mic and your video, you know. It is for you to know. I can't even unmute the mic myself. You have to do it. Which means it is upon you to determine if you want to give me access to that portion of your life or not. Now, as to if what you are doing is wise or it is unwise or it is good or it is bad, that is for you to determine. You are an adult. Programming is like that. If I have a piece of code, for example, I open up my IntelliJ, and then inside my IntelliJ, I create a new project. I'm going to call this project. Do I have to create a new project? What I'll do is I'll maintain the project I have here, but I'll just delete the inner workings here. And then over here, I'll just right click here. And then I'll click in here and create a class called car. So I've created a class called. In my class called car, I'm going to say that the class called car has the following attributes. It has a string module. It has a string type. It has a integer for year. And over there, I'm going to say whenever I have a car, I can drive it. So void, and then I can drive it. So here I'll just say system.out.print. Then in here, I'll say I am driving. Now, also with a car, you can stop. So over here, I'll just copy the same code here. In here, instead of me saying drive, I'll say stop. And then over here, I'll just come and write in here that I am stopping, or I have stopped. Wonderful. So in here, I've just created a class called car. Now, I must implement this. I must implement this. I must make it, or what I have written here is me writing the menu of how a car should act. So me implementing it is me creating a car. Of course, I'm not creating a car physically. But in programming terms, I am creating a car so that I can use it. If I create a car from a class, then I have created an object. So in my code over here, when I come in here and I say car1 is equal to new car, I've just created an object of the car class. That is why I can say car1 dot. And the moment I bring a dot there, you can see I have drive, I have model, I have type, I have year, and I have stop. So I can say the model of my car is a Toyota. Just so that here you can see that I am driving into brackets. Then here I'll put in the model of the car I am driving. So over here, I can say I'm driving a Toyota. I can say car1 dot the type of car is going to be a saloon. I can say car1 dot year is going to be 2019. Over here, what I have done is I have created and filled the attributes. We spoke about this class last week. So in here, if I come and I write the following code, that car1 dot drive, then I come and write car1 dot stop, and I run this code over here, it will provide me with all the information I need. It will tell me that, oh, car1 is driving and then car1 is stopping. It does its job. So what is the problem of this code? Because over here it says I'm driving a Toyota and I have stopped. It is doing what it's supposed to do. I have implemented the class and the implementation is working. So what is the problem? The problem is this car here is a class. So we see it like a body. And then this main class here is another class. So it is another body. Encapsulation is saying that if you are a body, then no one should know your innermost thoughts, your innermost data. No one should have direct access to this. The only way in which someone can have direct access to this is if you allow, is if you say, oh, you can have direct access. Until you say that, no one should be able to have direct access to the data you store over here. So the fact that I can do car1 dot model and just say it is equal to Toyota is wrong because I have direct access to where you store your things, your innermost thoughts. Just like over here, if I was to say, everyone on your camera, and some of you will be at places you shouldn't be and in situations you shouldn't be in, so you prefer not the camera to be on. The same way car also wants to keep its innermost thoughts, its innermost feelings, what is it doing currently to itself. Shouldn't share it with anybody. So we are saying that when you have attributes, make attributes or methods that you want to keep private, that you don't want anybody to have access to the data, give it a modifier, which is what? Private. So that anytime you give the modifier private to anything, it means that the class that it is inside is the only one who has access to it. Any class outside does not have direct access to it. So you can see that when I come here, all of these things which used to be okay are now red because I don't have direct access to these things anymore. So I can't write this code like how I'm writing it anymore. But there is a problem. If I can't have direct access to it anymore, how will I get access to the data? That means that this class here has to go the extra mile to create the avenue for you to have data to it. It can do that in two ways. It can do that by setting the parameters directly when the class is being created. For example, I can say public car into brackets. Now, this is not a method. It is a constructor. Why is it a constructor? All constructors are used with the name of the class. You can see that over here, when I created this, I created car double quote over here. This is it over here. I can create it. This is there automatically. Every single class you create, it is there. You do it or you don't do it, it is there. Because you need the constructor to construct and tell the space you have created called car1 how it should be configured. So in here, constructor is there already. I don't have to create it. But like everything in life, the default thing is there so that you are wise enough to change the default. It's like you go to the bank and they say, oh, the ATM card, this is the PIN that is coming with the card. And you don't change it. What you type is the same thing that is there. You are just asking yourself to be wrong. Do I want to be wrong? No. So I will create my own constructor. Note that you can have more than one constructor in your code. So just for argument's sake, I can have this, and I can also have public car. But in this case, I am going to pass information over here. I'm going to say string model, comma, string type, comma, and then I'm going to say int year. So this is one constructor, and this is a totally different constructor. Your class can have multiple ways in which it creates itself. And here's where the joys of programming comes in. Because, for example, if I'm building a shopping application, I can build it in such a way that when a user comes, he can sign up, or when he's a guest user, he can still have access. There are multiple constructors involved. So with this constructor, I'm saying that before you can create the class called car, you need to have a model, you need to have a type, and you need to have a year. Now, when you fill model over here, you have filled it for the constructor here. It has nothing to do with the information here. So I'll tell the computer that take the information you have over here. So it will go and take model. But now, red flag, the computer is asking, are you talking about the model over here, or are you talking about the model that is over here? Which one are you talking about? So I'll tell the computer that this dot model. The moment I say that, the computer now knows that this model over here is referring to the one outside. And then when it does equal to and says model, you are referring to the one which is inside and it is local. So that this keyword allows you to refer to global variables in the class. So if I use the word this, I am referring to a global variable that is located in my class. So in my class, all of these variables are global. Hence, if I want to refer to them, I would use this keyword and refer to them. And then once I write the other one about this, it means that it's referring to the one I created here, which is local. In here, I'll do this again. I'll bring the dot and I'll put year here and make it equal to year. So now when I come here and I want to create another variable for car, but this time I'm going to create car2. And I'm going to say that when you are creating car2 should have a type called Toyota. Type 2 should have a second field called the type, which is supposed to be Salu. And type 2 should have a year, which is 2000. You can see that even the computer is now telling me model, put it here, type, put it here, year, put it here. Here, it does nothing. Because I told the computer that I can create car with nothing, or I can create car by entering the types and stuff. That means that over here, I can proudly write car2 dot, and then I'll say drive. And when I write this code here, to tell me that I'm still driving my Toyota. Or here, just to make it very, very, very easy, I'll just say Tesla. So that over here, when I hit it again, it will tell me that I am driving a Tesla. Where this information is kept and saved, you don't know. To be honest with you, in normal code, we don't just put the information here like that. Over here, we will sanitize it. You make sure the person is typing the wrong thing before you even go and put it there. So I can directly put information in here using the constructor. I can also do it by using getters and setters. Getter and setter is a concept. It is not a like every day I have to write getter, I have to write setter. It is a concept. The concept is that if I say set something, it means go and put it somewhere. If I say get something, it means go and fetch it from somewhere. So because you do not have direct access to the data, you need something else to go and fetch it and put information there by setting it. Because I'm lazy, on the screen here, I'm going to click on alternate insert. On my keyboard, I'll click alternate and insert. The moment I do that, it brings these things for here for me over here. And it asks me, do I want to create a constructor or a getter or a setter or any of these things? I want to create a getter and a setter. Then it will ask me, which ones do I want to create getters and setters for? I want to create getters and setters for the string, this and that. And then I'll press OK. You can see that it has created getters and setters for me. This is the structure of a getter. Over here, we have public string gets module. And then here we have the module we want to go and get. Over here, I have set module. So if your user will have to put in what he wants to set over here. And when he sets it, then I will take it and go and put it in the global variable in which we have set. It is very important for us to note that when we are setting and getting, we are putting information in something. In practice, when you tell someone to type something here, you don't just go and put it inside it. You need to sanitize it. You need to check it. You need to make sure it's correct. You need to make sure it is right. Then you move the information there. So, for example, if I wanted to change the car situation from here, so let me put here, copy this, paste it here, and between them, I would say car2 dot go and set the car's model to a Toyota. So right here, if I run the code again, it will tell me that the car model was a Tesla. The car model is now a Toyota because the set will go and replace and put information somewhere for you. The get will go and retrieve. So if I say something should get, then over here, I would say get car2 dot get the year. Then I'll just say system dot out dot print ln, and then I'm printing out this.
The system is 2x.
I've corrected it, don't worry. So if I run this code over here, it will tell me that, oh, Tesla Toyota, and it is 200. And you can see that over here I wrote. So the idea of encapsulation is that we do not want any data to have direct access to where data is kept. It's any class to have direct access to where another class's data is kept. We will hide it from the other class, and we will create getters and setters that we can control to put information in locations that we want. Do we comprehend?
Yes, sir.
This has been our class today. Today, our job was to learn encapsulation. What is encapsulation? How is encapsulation implemented? Next week, when we arrive here, we will learn abstraction. What is abstraction? How is abstraction implemented? And then we'll see a question which would involve us doing abstraction and encapsulation and see how we can write code in the object-oriented way. It is very important that all the videos we did in Java 1, if statement, for statement, creating, you go and learn them. Because as you can see, I'm not going to go over how to write if and those things. I'm just going to do it with the assumption that you know. My job in this course is to teach you the concept. So I will teach the concept, and we are done. We will implement the concept in a way whereby we write code for. So it is very important you learn these stuff. I told you at the beginning that this course is a bit harder because you are not just coding. You are coding in an object-oriented way, using the object-oriented principles. It is very important you know the principles and you master the principles. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
For some reason,